Hey, my name is Jared and you're watching Backroad Exploration. In the camping and overlanding space, there are literally thousands of items between vehicle setup and camping gear setup that you can spend your hard-earned money on. So, unless you're Scrooge McDuck and you've got a massive pile of cash in a bank vault that you can just swim in inside of your house, you have to be a little bit judicious about the way you want to spend your money, especially when the most important upgrade and thing you can spend your money on is adventure gas. Any accessory that I purchase, I always have to weigh how many trips could I go on if I was using that money to just pay for adventure gas. Today, I want to talk about a piece of kit that over the years of exploring the remote deserts and mountains of Utah, I just can't go without and wish I had gotten a lot sooner, and it's a fridge. Now, before you start jumping in the comments and tell me about how you've been using a cooler for 30 years or that your grandpa didn't even use a cooler, yeah, well, my ancestors also crossed the plain in a hand cart, and you know what? I think they would have taken my GX460 instead if they could have. But that's not the point. The point is that there are a lot of conveniences out there that you can spend your hard-earned money on, and some of them just aren't worth it in my opinion. There's been pieces of gear that I've picked up, thought I would really like, and I've decided, you know what, it just doesn't add enough form and function to make it worth doing. A fridge is not one of those things. In fact, 2 years ago, I was on a trip in July on the White Rim Trail, which is what put me over the edge and pushed me to picking up a fridge for myself. I'm getting more and more sold on a fridge. I had to get my insulated bottle and hit the ice to break it up because it all frozen up over the top. What happened on that adventure? Well, the first thing that happened was it was like 110 degrees. So I had to use about 80% of my space and capacity inside of my cooler on just ice alone. Then if you've ever done that, you notice that the top of your cooler just it's this nice sheet of ice that requires like a chisel or a pickaxe just to liberate your food at every single meal. Not to mention, then you're managing the water that's melting, you're double bagging your food, you're putting it in Tupperware so that it's not getting soggy and wet from the melted water, and then you're dumping that water out along the trail as it begins to melt and fill up your cooler. All of those things, manageable, 100%. I've camped for years under that premise. But after having a fridge, I will never go back to cooler camping unless I'm on some type of a relic run. Now, if you've ever shopped for fridges, you know that the prices range drastically. You can spend anywhere between like a couple $100 to a couple $1,000. Now, I have never had experience with a high-end multi-$1,000 fridge. I can't justify the expense. I spend anywhere between 30 and 60 nights a year out on camping and overlanding adventures, and even with that, a couple $100 fridge is more than adequate for my needs. Now, I camp with a family of 5, soon to be 6, and so when the folks over at Setpower reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to check out our RV45s fridge and give it a review? I was like, hey, this could be kind of cool. Our previous fridge was an IceCoo 40-quart fridge. I've really liked it, but there are a few things that it's kind of let me down on, and I'll be doing a long-term review of it soon. But when we did a trip recently into Monument Valley with our entire family, we hit right at the capacity of how much food we needed for an adventure with that fridge. This is 20% bigger. We're going to be adding an additional family member, and I think it's going to be the perfect size for all of us for a multi-day adventure. It's made of aluminum construction, which I really like because not only is it going to be durable, I can set things on top of it, but also it's easy to clean. My IceCoo fridge that I had before it's a plastic, it's a little bit harder to clean, and it had an insulated bag. You can buy an insulated bag for this, but I'm not going to because I found it does better than my IceCoo fridge did at controlling and maintaining temperatures, even without it, which was nice. Another additional feature that I like, it's got these nice cool handles. Right now I have this just zip tied to it. This is where we keep all of our utensils, plates, things like that. But I really like that I can utilize this handle. I can easily take this out. Occasionally we've got to camp somewhere where we can't park the vehicle right next to where we want to cook. With 2 nice big handles, you can take the fridge with your portable power supply, set it down to where you're going to be at, and it's closer to you if your vehicle is parked off somewhere else. Now, I want to be clear, this is a first impressions video. I will do a long-term review, but I pretty much require that I run a product for a year before I review it, because I want to know how it's going to hold up over that time frame before I just say, hey, this is 100% going to be perfect for you, go pick it up. From a specs perspective, it's pretty impressive. Okay, it has a nice 3-year warranty on the compressor. I've been really impressed with how quick it works. I didn't do some scientific timed test. I've just gone on a lot of adventures, thrown a lot of stuff in, turned the fridge on, see how long it takes to get cool, and it's been very, very impressive compared to my ice coup. I've also found one of the main benefits that I like about it is that it maintains the temperature better than my ice coup fridge did. That's actually the main reason that I'm going to keep this one over the ice coup, is because it maintains the temperature better. I noticed with the ice coup, the temperature would fluctuate a ton, anywhere between like 28 degrees and 34 degrees. This sits really solid at whatever temperature I put it at, which is something that just, it's confidence inspiring. I've never had any issues with food being bad with the ice coup, but I just like knowing if I set it at a temperature, it's going to be at it. It has an easy to use control panel. You can set the temperature anywhere between 0 and 50 degrees to keep your food at whatever safe temperature it needs to be at. Now, speaking of that controller, that is one of the things that I do not like about it. Come check this out. Now, my beef with it isn't how it functions. It's actually really easy to use. It's all about the location. The temperature panel here is on the back of the fridge where the electrical plug goes. So I could flip it around, but then the wire would have to run all the way to the front. And it would mean that if I have my battery pack, which I usually keep back this way, right now it's just on the seat because I'm moving it around. But if I want to check the temperature, I have to fold the seat forward, and I have kids who are sitting here. It's just kind of a pain. I wish that they gave a digital readout of the temperature somewhere else. I don't even feel like I need the controls somewhere else because I don't make adjustments to them very frequently. I just want to know what the temperature is at, either up on top or on the front on a display. That would be really cool. Now, there's a couple different buttons on here. You can see really easy to use. Adjust your temperature, change the modes. I usually put it in max mode to cool it down, and then move it over to eco mode for maintenance while I'm out on an adventure. Just putting a little digital display here or something would be really nice so that I can utilize it and see what the temperature is in the fridge. I'm assuming most people are going to put the fridge in the same configuration that I have so that they can utilize a slider, which means seeing the temperature that the fridge is at is not always convenient if you're utilizing your middle row, which I always do. Now, it has a 47 quart capacity. It's 20% bigger than my previous fridge. We've been able to do anywhere between 3 and 4 days in our previous fridge, and that was like max, utilizing, you know, other storage for non-refrigerated food and this for our refrigerated food. This is going to add 20-ish% more capacity, which is going to be nice as we're adding an additional family member. If you were going to go for an extended week longer than that and not be resupplying, I don't really know how you would do that with fuel and things. I would always have to resupply anyways. But if you were going to do that, I think you would run out of space and you would need to jump up to something like the 60 quart and even bigger. The reality is a fridge like that, in my opinion, only works with a truck or if you're not going with a family, because it just takes up too much of your storage capacity. Now, I don't love these clasps. I'll get into those later, but inside of here, I've just kind of put this together to give you an idea of some of the things that you can fit. I've got some breakfast foods in here, some eggs, some chip dip. I've got some Go-Gurts in there as well. Nice little salad, some meat for later, and plenty of space for soda. I do like that it has these nice little carrying baskets. Most of the fridges out there I've seen have those, but it's nice because if you're in your house and you're getting ready to go on an adventure, you can just take the basket out, fill it up, and then bring it back and put it inside of the fridge. One of the things that I like the most about this fridge is this bright LED light. Now, you don't really need it right now because it's the daytime, but at night when you're rolling into camp and you're cooking in the evening and you need a little bit of light, you can see so well with this thing. It makes it so that digging around inside of the fridge is nice and easy. You can see that the fridge is equipped with this nice little seal here to help keep it nice and tight. Now, I've noticed one of the things that I've just find a hassle is having two clasps. My previous fridge opened like this up, and because of that there was only one mechanism. So while I actually think these metal ones will be a little bit more durable, sometimes doing two can be a pain. If I'm at camp, sometimes I don't even clasp it, or if I do, I'll just do one. But not a huge deal. When you're out on the trail, I definitely recommend doing both of the clasps. Now with this, I did need a bigger slider because the fridge is enough bigger that I couldn't use my previous one. So I got one of these as well from Setpower. Nice and simple, works well, no concerns with it whatsoever. If you're interested in learning more about it, I have links in my description. The folks over at Setpower gave me a discount code. If you utilize Backroad Exploration at checkout, you can get an additional 12% off just using the links in the description. I will be doing a follow-up review. They don't have any control over these videos. I say what I want in them. I highly recommend this from a first impression standpoint. I'm impressed with it. I like it more than I liked my Ice Coup from the very beginning. I had the Ice Coup for 18 months, still have it technically in the garage, but I will be replacing it with this. I like the aluminum construction. It's easier to clean. It's just better in every facet in my opinion. And because of that, I'm gonna move on from the Ice Coup and continue to use this for the foreseeable future. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and make sure to check out my huge backlog of adventure videos. I think you'll enjoy them. Thanks so much for watching.